What's going on, everyone? It's B-Rex Media back with another video, and welcome back to a movie series, where today I'm going to be taking a look at my Blu-ray copy of No Country for Old Men. Now, let's get into the essentials before I get into my review. The film was based on the book of the same name by Cormac McCarthy, which I read earlier this year, and is quite a good book. I highly recommend it, especially considering he tragically passed just a couple months ago. Was written for the screen and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, produced by Mike Zoss Productions, and distributed by Paramount, Vantage, and Miramax. The film is rated R for strong graphic violence and some language, and stars Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin, and Javier Bardem. This film is also the recipient of 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Supporting Actor, which highly deserved. So, let's get into my thoughts on the film. So overall, this is my third favorite movie of all time, and it's mainly just because of how different it is from all the Westerns I've seen. It is what I call a mature Western, because, you know, a lot of Westerns back in like the 60s and 70s were kind of campy and stuff like that. Well, this is set during 1980, so shortly after those Westerns were made, and this is not campy at all. Like, this is brutal. This is just insane, and you can tell that based on the book from which it was adapted. But the film follows a former Vietnam vet, played by Josh Brolin, who finds a satchel of money from a drug deal gone bad, and he is on the run from a hitman, played by Javier Bardem, and the sheriff, played by Tommy Lee Jones, is kind of trying to get to the bottom of the case and figure out what is happening. So overall, this is probably in my opinion, one of the greatest movies ever made. Like I said, it's in my top 10, and it's just everything about it, I think, comes together to make a cohesive whole. It starts out with a brutal killing, and it ends with a brutal killing, and it's just it's just such a masterpiece, in my opinion. It's definitely the Coen brothers' best work, and I love some of their other movies, like True Grit and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I also watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which I thought was kind of but other than that. So some fun trivia about this. This movie came out at the time when Miramax was still owned by Disney, so you'd technically say, oh, this is a Disney movie. So technically it ranks the highest on my list of Disney movies. But this particular disc, let's crack it open. This particular disc is the Lionsgate reprint. And Lionsgate started reprinting a bunch of old Miramax movies back when Miramax went independent from Disney. This was after the Weinsteins had left the company as well, which is why in the executive producer credits you won't see Harvey or Bob Weinstein mentioned, because they had already gone by the time this movie had come out. But overall, let's talk about the technical aspects of this. We watched it on the TV. We have a 4K TV as well, and watched it in standard Blu-ray. It renders in pure 1080p. The TV upscaled it to 60 frames per second, and it's just absolutely stunning. And that there's some landscape shots that they pull off that look really well. And there's what I've noticed when I watch Blu-ray is sometimes some of them, comparing between Blu-ray and streaming, I had originally watched this movie on TV, on streaming, and it didn't look right when I watched it on streaming, and probably just because I was streaming it over the internet, whereas this, I have a hard copy of it. But definitely I would recommend picking up the Blu-ray. I went to a store, a big store called Edwin McKay's, and I found this. They had a huge selection of movies, and I came home with about 4 different movies. And it was just a really cool store to look through. But basically, this is, like I said, my third favorite movie of all time. Definitely one that I recommend to anyone who likes Westerns, dramas, action movies, whatever. It's got a little something for you it's got about something for everyone, I think, because it's just a well-made movie. And I think that's what really matters in the long run. So, wrapping this video up, I highly recommend this film, but if you still are on the fence about it and you're like, well, I don't want to commit to a physical copy yet, it is available on Paramount Plus, so you can watch it on there. Highly recommend it. It's a masterpiece in my opinion, and definitely deserving of all the awards it won. So, that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next episode of Movie Series. Thanks, and have a great day.